The garage light flickered, casting jagged shadows across the concrete floor. When I saw it, a glint of red lipstick smeared on the collar of my wife's blouse, discarded carelessly on the passenger seat of her car. My heart lurched, a sickening jolt like missing a step in the dark. I stood frozen, the air thick with the scent of motor oil and betrayal, my fingers trembling as they hovered over the fabric. It wasn't her shade. Sarah always wore soft pinks, never this brazen crimson. I told myself it was nothing, a friend's hug, a careless brush at work. But the lie tasted bitter, like the coffee I'd choked down that morning. Our home in suburban Maplewood felt different these past months. The kitchen, once alive with Sarah's laughter as she danced to old jazz records, now hummed with silence. Her phone, always face down on the counter, buzzed at odd hours. "Work," she'd say, her eyes darting away, her smile tight as a drawn bowstring. I'd nod, swallowing the unease, because love makes you blind, or maybe just a fool. I'd built a life with her, 15 years of shared dreams, late-night talks, and quiet mornings where her hand fit perfectly in mine. But lately her touch felt like a ghost's there, but not really. That evening, I sat in the dim living room, the TV flickering with a show neither of us watched. Sarah was late again, her third client meeting this week. The clock ticked past 9, each second a needle in my chest. I sipped whiskey, the burn grounding me as my mind replayed her excuses. New perfume, sharper heels, a sudden interest in late-night yoga classes. I'd ignored the signs, chalked them up to her chasing youth at 38. But that lipstick, God, that lipstick, was a scream I couldn't unhear. The front door creaked open. Sarah stepped in, her auburn hair catching the lamplight, her face flushed. "Hey hon," she said, too bright, like she was auditioning for a role. "Meeting ran late. Traffic's a nightmare." She kicked off her shoes, avoiding my gaze, and headed for the kitchen. I followed, my pulse a drumbeat in my ears. "Rough day?" I asked, leaning against the counter. My voice steady despite the storm inside. She poured wine, her fingers tight around the glass. "Yeah, just clients being needy." Her laugh was brittle, a cracked window pane. I wanted to ask about the lipstick, the late nights, the way she flinched when I touched her shoulder last week. But the words stuck, heavy as guilt. Instead, I said, "Saw your blouse in the car. Got some red on it." Her hand froze mid-sip. The silence stretched, taut as a wire. "Oh," she said, eyes flicking to mine then away. "Probably makeup from a coworker. You know how we share samples at the office." Her lie was a tightrope, and she wobbled. I nodded, my jaw clenched. "Right. Samples." I turned away, the air between us thick with unspoken truths. That night, I lay beside her, her breathing soft but distant, like a stranger's. Sleep didn't come. Instead, I saw that lipstick red as a warning, burning behind my eyelids. The next morning, I called in sick. Sarah left early, her perfume lingering like a taunt. I waited until her car vanished around the corner, then slipped into the garage. Her sedan sat there, innocent except for that blouse, still crumpled on the seat. I rifled through it, hating myself for it, and found a receipt tucked in the pocket. Dinner for two at La Belle, a restaurant we'd never been to together. The date was last Friday, when she'd claimed a girls' night. My chest tightened, a vice squeezing out reason. I drove to her office, a sleek glass building downtown. Her car wasn't in the lot. I parked across the street, my hands sweaty on the wheel, and waited. Hours passed, the sun climbing, my thoughts spiraling. Was I paranoid? Was this what love did? Turned you into a detective in your own marriage. Then I saw it. A black Porsche, gleaming like a predator, pulling into the lot. Sarah stepped out, laughing, her hand brushing the arm of a man. Young, maybe late 20s, with a jawline sharp enough to cut glass. He leaned close, whispering something that made her smile in a way she hadn't with me in years. I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles white. The world narrowed to that moment. Her hand on his arm, his smirk, the way the sunlight glinted off his car like it was mocking me. I wanted to scream, to storm over, to demand answers. Instead, I followed them. The Porsche wove through traffic, Sarah's car trailing like a shadow. They stopped at a coffee shop, and I watched from a distance as they sat outside, her head tilted toward him, his hand grazing hers. Every gesture was a knife, carving away the life I thought we had. That night, I confronted her. The kitchen was dim, the air heavy with the scent of her cooking, lasagna, my favorite, as if she could bribe my heart. Who is he? I asked, my voice low, trembling with the weight of knowing. Sarah's fork paused halfway to her mouth. Who's who? She said, but her eyes betrayed her, wide and glassy. The guy with the Porsche. I saw you today. The words felt like spitting glass. Her face crumpled, just for a second, before she rebuilt her mask. Mark, you're being ridiculous. He's a client. We were discussing a project. A project that needs coffee dates and hand-holding? My voice rose, cracking like ice underfoot. She stood, her chair scraping the floor. You're spying on me now? God, Mark, do you hear yourself? Do you? I shot back. You're lying, Sarah. I saw the receipt. La Belle. Last Friday. Who was it? Her silence was louder than any confession. She looked away, her hands twisting together. It's not what you think, she whispered. But the words were hollow, a collapsing bridge. Then what is it? I stepped closer, my heart pounding. Tell me, because I'm drowning here, Sarah. 15 years, and I'm begging for the truth. Her eyes met mine, shimmering with tears. His name's Ethan, she said, her voice barely audible. He makes me feel alive again. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. The room spun. I gripped the counter, the world tilting under me. Alive. I choked out. What was I? Dead weight. No, she cried, reaching for me, but I pulled back. Mark, I love you. I do. But I don't know. I felt old, invisible. He saw me. I laughed, a bitter sound that echoed in the empty space between us. He saw you. Sarah, I've been seeing you every damn day, even when you stopped seeing me. She sobbed, but I couldn't comfort her. Not when my heart was bleeding out. I walked out, the night air cold against my skin, and found myself in the garage again. That Porsche. I'd seen it parked down the street earlier, Ethan probably waiting for her call. Rage surged hot and reckless. I grabbed a screwdriver from the toolbox, my hands shaking as I crouched by the car's rear tire. One puncture, then another, the hiss of air a small, vicious satisfaction. But as I stood, the weight of it hit me, not the car, not the tires, but the truth. I'd lost her long before tonight. Back inside, Sarah was gone, her car keys missing. I sat alone, the lasagna cold on the table. The house silent except for the hum of the fridge. The twist wasn't the betrayal or the punctured tires. It was the realization that I'd been fighting for a love that no longer existed. And as I stared at the empty chair across from me, I wondered if I'd ever truly known her at all.